So, good morning, everyone. My name is Mark, and I represent Lee Legacy. Lee Legacy is what we call in Singapore a single family office. That's basically some high end legalese for saying rich people with a company. Now, Lee Legacy's mandate, for me at least, is to look for what we call micro and small businesses to invest in. This forms the largest group of businesses, not only in Manchester, but actually the world. It is the same in Singapore as well. Ironically, it may be the largest business group, but ironically, it is the least invested, right? And this problem is not just in Manchester, but in Singapore and the whole of Asia. So what's the reason that traditional PEs or VCs, they do not invest or they don't want to invest in small businesses? The reason is pretty simple. When they see a small business, what's going on in their head is that there's going to be a lot of money wasted on trying to advertise. There's going to be a high burn rate in trying to bring this business to market. And with a crowded market with big businesses, whether throwing more money into the business to brand it will even work is a big question mark. And that's why for them, small businesses are too small, too risky, and basically there's no market, and no brand, so they're not going to do it, right? But we've taken a different lens. We've taken a different lens because we feel that one thing is missing in that consideration. The one thing that's the one ingredient that is missed in that consideration is community, right? Community has a brand. If you are rooted in community, that makes a difference. While advertising is important, we're not saying that advertising is not important, but relying on advertising big budgets alone is what we call lazy branding. Right? But what we are trying to look for is businesses that are rooted in the community and they put in the time and the resource, and then you build a reputation from the community outwards. So it's like an onion. You start from the middle, and then you slowly grow up. That's our story. Now, how do I know whether this is true or not? Well, I've lived it actually. So 30 years ago, when I started my law firm in Chinatown, Singapore, it was only less than 50 square feet, right? I'm a one-man show. I didn't even have a club at that point in time. But I did a lot of grassroots work in Chinatown at that point in time. And I got started with small businesses and in the small Chinese business community, and I gained a reputation dealing with their business. About 10 years back, I got a call saying that Mr. Idan Ofer, fourth richest man in Israel, a billionaire, wants to meet you. Please go see him. I didn't know who he was at that point in time. I said, no, I have no time. I got to attend my court sessions. I've got to do this. And says, look, this is an opportunity. Go to his office. So I went there, met Mr. Ofer. And I remember Mr. Ofer gave me this problem. He says, I've seen the best lawyers in town, Clyde & Co., he said Clark & Co., a few other big names, and says, I've got this problem, and none of them can solve them for me. So I say, if they can't solve it, why me? Says, I've heard that you have a unique way of looking at things. So I said, okay, let me hear your problem. So he started downloading the problem to me. And I said, you know what? I can't solve it too. Because I totally agree with his lawyers. Then he got on the intercom, spoke Hebrew to his secretary, turned around to me and says, Mark, do you shave? I said, yes, Mr. Ofer, I do shave. Says, I'll tell you what, Mark, I'm coming back next month. I want to see you again. I said, okay, Mr. Ofer. And he says, when you shave in the morning and you look in the mirror, just say to yourself, what have I done for Mr. Ofer this morning? What a weird statement. Then the secretary came in, right? And then he says, and when you are asking this question of what you have done for Mr. Ofer this morning, here is $50,000 for you as an advance. I was shocked. I said, Mr. Ofer, I'm not going to take this because I don't have a solution for you. I have nothing for you. He says, no, you're going to take it, right? Because I believe, and that's the thing, I believe you will come up with a solution. $50,000 advance at that point in time is shocking for me. I walked away. I didn't know whether to cash the check or not. Eventually, I did. Right? A month later, I came back. And then I told him, okay, this is the way I think we can solve the problem. It was a combination of law and commerce, and I didn't use the law. I mean, it was part law, part commerce. He liked it so much, called his secretary in. He says, here's $1 million. Million. That was my first $1 million client. I had $1 million budget, one-man show. I didn't have a big law firm brand. What's the lesson? The lesson is this: you never know who will come in, right? And the lesson is, it's branding is, what advertising did I have? Nothing. What PR agencies did I have? Nothing. But what I learned was this: my time doing the grassroots with the business community must have got up to Mr. Ofer, right? And he was so determined, and he believed in me at that point in time. I'm not a big law firm, to then say this is the work. The second thing I've learned as well through working with high net worth individuals. So after Mr. Ofer, right, word got around that I solved his problem, and then that led me to a different practice, which was basically his friends and his friends. And that's how I ended up doing work with the high net worth individuals, right? And working around them, I've learned something as well. That money chases talent. It is. They're always chasing talent. Right? But talent alone is not enough, because that's instinctive. And you have to then translate that talent into a system. It is the reduction of that instinct and talent into a system that makes a brand or a business investable. So real brand is earned. It's not by throwing lots of money into advertising, because that's lazy branding, right? And basically, take for instance, Morecambe Bay, Pete. When we came out there, he's shocked, right? The thing that I think, Pete, I explained to you, I asked you this question: how did you know how to brand yourself? I was surprised that he's got no formal training, but instinctively I recognized that he has talent. There was raw talent, when we first met him. And then he started telling us how he built his business from the community, and that was the first key word that struck me, because that's the first thing that I was looking for. A brand that was very rooted in the community, with tradition and identity from the community. So Morecambe Bay represents two key factors that instantly got our attention. First, the community connection and the raw talent that I can work with. So what are the closing thoughts? Closing thoughts are this, that I think that don't go chasing around investments, right? I know a lot of people watch Dragon Den, but not all investors are of that cut and more. What we are is this: we believe that a community is not built by chance. We believe that it is built by people who choose to show up. We also believe that it is built by people who choose to help each other. And lastly, we believe that it is built by people who have shared dreams and values. This is what our investment goes to. This is what we are investing in. So that's all. Thank you.